Hey everyone, I'm currently working on porting my game Home in Darkness from Godot 3 to Godot 4. I hoped I'd be done by now, but as it turns out, it still takes a while to really show you the new version. However, this video deals with something I encountered while porting my game, the new Godot 4 Tweens. If you are completely new to Godot, Tweens aren't anything complicated. They allow you to change values of node attributes over time in specific ways. They are used to create animations which aren't completely predefined, like with an animation player. But if you are coming from Godot 3, you might be confused about tweens. First off, where is the dedicated tween node? Well, it doesn't exist anymore, and I don't believe it's coming back. You can still create and use tweens, but you have to do that in code. Tweens are used to create animations programmatically, so creating them programmatically only makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Still, it's confusing when you try to recreate or import old Godot scenes and get errors because of a missing tween node. The way to create tweens now is with getTreeCreateTween. However, here lies another interesting property of tween that may lead to problems. Look at this line of code. All it does right now is create a tween with the onReady attribute, meaning I don't need to create the tween in ready explicitly, it will be done automatically. Everything else is commented out. Now let's start the program. As you can see in the debug tab, we get an error message about a tween starting with no property. Which is weird because we never said the tween should start. As it turns out, there is one small sentence in the documentation of tween explaining that tween will automatically start playing once it's created. I find this behavior very unintuitive. I don't see a scenario where I'd want the tween to start playing before it has anything to animate. In turn, this means every time you create a tween, it's a good idea to first stop it just to make sure it doesn't play. Adding an extra line of code for you to write every single time you use tweens. Now, if you feed the tween with properties to animate directly after creation in the same function, this stop line doesn't seem to be necessary. But I'm rather safe than sorry given that this leads to an error. And if I copy-paste the tween of one script to another and modify the new one, I don't want to think about that extra line. So I recommend you always add the stop call. I'd like this auto start behavior to change in the future, but given it survived this long, I'm not sure it will get changed. So back to the onReady line itself. I recommend not doing that, for the same reason I stated before. Instead, if you need a script global tween, initialize it with null and create the complete tween with the stop call in ready instead, or wherever you need it. Another change for tweens is how the call to animate properties works. Instead of having a start and end value, you only pass an end value now. Meaning the start value is always the current property value. That's important to know if you want to use tweens more than once, for example. setTrans and setEase are now kinda independent of the property you want to animate. These settings of tweens act more like modes now. You can still change them on a per property basis, but the current value will be applied to every property animation until they get new values assigned. For very complex animations, this might save you some typing. Personally, I like that change. By default, properties will animate sequentially, meaning only after the first property reaches its final value in the specified time will the next property start animating. With setParallel, you can explicitly state that multiple properties should be animated, well, in parallel. It works the same way as setTrans and setEase. It's basically a mode of a tween. And lastly, this start function is now called play. Of course, there's a lot more to learn about Tweens, so do take a look at the documentation for it. This video is just about covering the, in some cases, hidden differences between Godot 3 and Godot 4 Tweens. Now you know. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.